All right, 6, 2, 5. Hey, welcome to the Jaysquared Podcast. I'm Jesoma,
I'm J-Rock.
and we have an awesome show for you today.
I
Yeah.
thought you said you were going to stop doing that.
No, I said I was gonna stop saying like I was gonna stop saying this is the, and we are the Jaysquared Podcast after that, because I would say,
Oh.
yeah. See, I adjusted, I pivoted,
Okay.
pivot.
Okay.
All right, so what do you got?
Well, first, how was your week? And did you enjoy the roasting on our live?
First of all,
Public service announcement?
Look, I got something to say to everybody. Y'all gonna watch your mouth when it comes to talking about me, all right? It was just the utmost disrespect for no reason. Like I felt ganged up on.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say, but okay.
What did you think I was gonna say?
Nothing. Ignore me. My mind is in the gutter.
That's disrespectful. But everybody that was on that live really did do their best to let me know that I don't know nothing about nothing. And I don't know how to feel about it, but it is what it is. I still love y'all, and I appreciate y'all tuning in, but watch your mouth next time.
Overall for me, it was hilarious.
I hate you. I hate you.
It just sucks because like you just dug yourself into a bigger hole every time you responded or didn't respond to a question.
Nah, dude, is that you? Like, all right, wait, okay. So, look, you guys would ask me a question, I'd answer the question, or I try to answer the question, and you guys would ask me another question. So I feel like I have to answer the second question first. But I didn't get past the first question, because if I answer the first question and I wait too long, then it's going to roll on to the third question. Then I'm going to be behind and I'm going to be nervous. And I don't want to be nervous when I'm talking on the live, because it's live and I can't chop it up.
Okay, some insecurities there.
So.
Okay. It's all love, Jay. It's all love.
It didn't sound like it. It didn't sound like it.
You made the live amazing, so it was all love.
I was like, yeah, but the book was about and Willy Wonka.
But what was the name?
Factory, but what was the name? The name of the book was The Chocolate War. But this nigga can't read.
Oh yeah, no, that was great.
Oh man,
that was great.
My
week's been chaotic, but to add to the chaos, here's my unhinged moment.
Nice.
Solar eclipse that's happening 2 Mondays from now.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Do you believe the conspiracy theories?
That it's the end of the world or something?
Basically that we're not gonna have internet or connection for like 3 days. You know, people have been stocking up on groceries and gas. Basically end of the world vibes. And then a lot of people, I think it's mostly because a lot of people are traveling to like states where you're gonna actually like be in the dark for 4 minutes. It just so happens that I'm living in the path of where it's gonna be dark for 4 minutes.
Nice.
So I believe all the conspiracy theories.
I don't believe in any of them because it's silly. Like, it's 4 minutes of an eclipse. And what would be I don't understand what the big deal would be. I would love to see it. I think that it would be so cool to see. But as far as the changes being made, that is going to be like, oh, this whole huge thing that's going to be happening, I don't think that that's going to happen.
So like, I believe certain things of it, but not all of it. Especially since like this happened 10 years ago. So it's not a big deal. Obviously, like in Miami, you can't really, not 10 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
In Miami, you couldn't really see it because, you know, we weren't that close. But I think for me, it's a different experience now. Like we all got glasses and we're going to make it like a field trip thing where we're going to go outside. Cool. So hopefully it isn't cloudy, but like there's certain aspects of it that kind of like are like, ooh, this could be a little creepy. Because like what if after 4 minutes like it still doesn't get lighter?
I feel like I feel like a lot of people would use these like conspiracies to justify like the end of the world type of things that can go on,
Yep.
or the things that they want to happen. I feel like a lot of people want these things to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of sucks because it alleviates, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just talking about like my thought on a majority of people. I think that they like kind of just they use conspiracies to disconnect from reality so they can alleviate themselves from having any real responsibility in making the world better, because they could be like, well, there's somebody else is controlling everything anyway, so what's the point of me doing X, Y, and Z? I ain't got to take care of my kids. What's the point? The whole government's against me anyway. So it's like, I feel like people use conspiracy theories not as fun, but as like, I'm talking about the hardcore, like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
like that's not the conspiracy theories I've been reading, but I get the other side of the conspiracy
yeah,
theories where it could just be dark.
like even the end of the world ones, like, dude, yeah, I feel like it's cool to watch in like a movie or so. But at the end of the day, it's like, even if you're watching something on a movie, like it's important not to take it to heart, because that's how people end up in the situations of, oh, I'm gonna buy up or bulk up on everything or stock up on everything, leaving other people to fucking not
Yeah.
have anything. And
I'll
then
never forget the toilet paper of 2020.
toilet paper.
Y'all motherfuckers were wild.
What a beautiful time. But then it's like, also
No.
you think about it and it's like, okay, you have the pizza guy. Remember the whole pizza gate thing?
Yeah.
And then the guy went and he was armed or some shit, and he went ahead and thought that these people were actually there doing this shit. So it's like, I take everything with a grain of salt. I try not to get too involved in it. I hope that people don't react the same way as they did in the times of 2020. Uh,
Mhm.
but I hope that everybody could just have fun with it and experience the show.
Yeah. Well, speaking of more conspiracy theories,
Here
did
we
you
go.
see the Baltimore Bridge collapse?
Why is this a conspiracy?
I have no idea. We
All right.
literally saw what happened, and
Yeah.
it's a conspiracy theory now.
What
Like
is the
what?
conspiracy theory?
Um, there's multiple ones. Apparently, that it was a planned attack. That the ship wasn't really like didn't really lose powers on purpose, because why would they pick that bridge? Why would they pick that time frame? Um, so many things, and then you start adding like the racial factor to it. Um,
Wait, how did they get racist? What?
you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh my god.
I saw the ship hit the bridge.
Mhm.
And I know that there's some other information on it, but I didn't know that there was a racial component apparently.
All right, so one of them is like the bridges were made back in the day to prevent black and brown people from like moving to higher poverty, like higher, like richer places and keeping us in poverty.
Okay.
So there were certain bridges that we were not allowed to cross. Now people were like, oh, it was knocked down on purpose because blah, blah, blah. And, you know, white people were offended by it. And white people are even more offended by the fact that the mayor is a young black man. And they're like, oh, this is a DEI hire. They only hired him because, you know, diversity. And it's like, bro, you vote for who your mayor is. It's not something that's like, all right, that guy.
Yeah. So wait,
So
yeah,
they've
yeah.
been,
This isn't a corporate. Like, it's not like a personality hire. No, this is somebody that's voted in. But so wait, are
did you
they?
see that or no?
I
They've been,
didn't.
instead of worrying about like the actual 7 people that are still missing,
Yeah.
who are all immigrants, by the way, instead of worrying about that or worrying about like what caused the ship to like, you know, hit something and lose power twice before hitting the bridge. No, they're like, oh, why is the mayor black? Why is he young? Who said that this was allowed? Oh, it's his fault that the bridge got like collapsed or got hit. What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's just a bad look because you already know, like, whenever anything bad happens and you're the person that's in, I guess, power, or you have some type of status, people are going to look at you as the reason it happened, or they're gonna look towards you to fix whatever's happening.
Yeah,
But
but the thing is, like, when he did his speech after everything that happened, he like spoke so well and just like literally said, "Hey, I'm worried about the missing people. We'll figure
yeah,
out the bridge later. The most important thing right now is the
yeah,
people." And everyone on like social media was just talking about him being young and black. Not about, "Hey, we're missing 7 people. Hey, a bridge just collapsed. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to get the shipping in?" No, it's just race.
yeah. No, but this is why, like, you gotta take everything that has to do with social media with a grain of salt, because majority of these people probably, like, we're talking about most likely kids who don't really understand, like,
No,
the
no.
I know.
Politicians came out and said stuff too.
Yes, I understand. But then the people who are foddering this or who engage with these things the most are most likely people who don't even have access to, influence anything that has to do with that power. I feel like,
Disagree, but okay.
I mean, it's just a sad thing that it even turns into something that has to do with race when
Yep.
there's obviously a more not saying race isn't a huge deal, but there's obviously just a huge issue that's going on, and his race shouldn't even come into play. But this is people. Like, this is just the way people are. So I mean,
America.
yeah, America. America.
Well, yeah. Well, speaking of non-American things, we finally found out what happened to Princess Kate.
Oof. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you've been living under a rock, we she hasn't been out in public eye since December. Apparently, she went in for major abdominal surgery and then no one has seen her. The PR behind all of this has been awful. They all need to get
Atrocious.
fired. Like,
Atrocious.
literally made this story into the mess that it became before Princess Kate came out and said that she has cancer,
Hmm.
which is a big deal and something that definitely she wanted to keep private for a little bit longer. But because of her PR team and just the Royals PR team was just fucking shit, the internet ran wild. They decided to put like fake Photoshop pictures. And the worst part is they blamed her.
But this is the thing. She came out and said that she's been messing with Photoshop.
You really think that was her?
I don't know, but if somebody's account says something, I'm not gonna say, oh, it was somebody else. But
Uh-uh.
it will still be it regardless. It's like, in my opinion, I feel like there's so much mess going on. I feel like the Royals team is a team of people who think the rest of the world is dumb. That's what I think.
Yes.
And I
Yes, I
feel
agree.
like they put out some stupid shit thinking,
Mhm.
oh, this will get everybody, and they didn't even like they didn't even make sure that everything was like
Correct.
peachy.
Mhm.
Yeah, before they put those things out. But now it's like, you put out all these things um about this woman, and now it's like time to backtrack. But now that you're trying to backtrack, it seems like you're trying to cover up for something else.
Yeah. They
So
just fucked the whole thing up, honestly.
so a lot of people don't believe that she even has cancer, and it's like,
That's
that
crazy.
sucks. That sucks as somebody who like, that must suck for somebody who actually does have cancer, and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
I have cancer. And it's like, is this just to shut us up?
It's another conspiracy theory.
it,
But
it's just terrible. But
yeah.
I mean, they did it to themselves.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we know that she's, working on that and getting chemo.
Yeah.
Prayers up to her, but y'all need to be better with the PR relations.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And also, people need to chill out.
In what sense?
In the sense of like, I think some celebrities were also like taking shots and like making fun of her without like knowing the whole scope of it. So I think people just need to chill out overall with that. Because I feel like it's similar to like when Chadwick got sick and pictures came out where he was looking skinny and stuff, and people were just shitting on him. I think us as people, we kind of forget to have empathy. And we're just so like, oh, why does he look like that? Why does she look like that? Like, ew, gross. Instead of just being like, oh, you know, maybe they're sick.
Yes, I feel like yes and no about that, because I feel like sometimes as a celebrity, yeah, you do put yourself in the limelight, and unfortunately, that comes
People
with
are assholes.
it comes with judgment. It comes with judgment, and people are going to go ahead and criticize on things. But that's kind of what a lot of people sign up for. So it's like, if I don't want that, I can't want the fame too. Because fame is literally directly correlated with judgment.
No, I get you. I get you. I just like, for my own mental health, I would hope that people would be better, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So whatever.
What else we got? What happened?
Let's move on to some March Madness.
Some March Madness. Okay. What happened?
Have you been catching up or watching any games?
No, all I know is that there's this girl that scored like 40 points and got like a bajillion rebounds.
That was like game 1. We're like in Sweet 16 right now. About to be Elite 8 tomorrow.
You know I don't know anything about any of this.
Cool. So we'll start with some upsets that have happened so far that have been bracket busters.
Oh, Yale?
No.
Okay.
Yale beating someone? Yes, but I'm going to talk about the teams that lost.
Oh, okay.
So the first team that I will start with the men's. Kentucky losing super duper early, fucked everyone's bracket up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Kentucky. Houston lost, I think, last night. They were one of the number 1 seeds. I think one of their players got injured late, so that was kind of a blow for them. UNC also losing. Shocker. Another number 1 seed, and then Marquette, who was a number 2 seed, losing. So a couple teams that probably should have been in the Final Four, or like at least fighting to be in the Final Four, out. On the women's side, Stanford and Notre Dame lost yesterday, which were big upsets. Stanford was definitely one of the favorites to make it to the Final Four. Notre Dame would have played South Carolina next, which would have been an amazing game to watch, because Notre Dame has a lot of rookies and just like role players that overall make them a good team. So maybe next year they have some good young players that could definitely bring them back further. Ohio State losing early on. They were the number 2 seed, and I think they lost like a couple rounds ago, which is a big upset. And Virginia Tech, who kind of just blew that one, but their coach and star player apparently are going to Kentucky. So,
oh really? Why?
Yeah, who knows? The details haven't really come out yet. When they do, I'll let you know. But those have been some of the upsets. Some teams to look at men-wise. I think these 3 teams have been the surprise of the tournament. NC State, Alabama, and Clemson. They've all beaten big teams, and they were not projected to make it this far. So those are some teams to watch if you're looking for upsets. UConn looks like they're going to be back-to-back champions. They are blowing teams out. Like, they look unstoppable, similar to how South Carolina looks for the women's side. Even though they had a little scare yesterday, but overall, those 2 teams look like they're going to just win the whole thing, and no one could stop them. On the women's side, some other teams to watch. NC State again. both men's and women's, moving on and, you know, bringing A games. NC State beat Stanford yesterday, so that was big. Can never go wrong with Iowa, even though Caitlin Clark hasn't really been like Caitlin Clark these past couple games. Like, she hasn't hit one of those crazy games where she's like shooting from the logo. It's been pretty like tamed.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that continues.
You think the pressure's getting to her, or do you think she's just in a rut?
I think she's in a rut. I think she was so much happened with like getting the scoring title, like first as a women on the women's side, and then just overall men and women. I think her focus was so much on the record that she kind of shot herself into a rut. Because even when she was trying to break those records, she was not shooting the ball well.
Yeah.
So hopefully she hits a stride to actually make it a competition, but we'll see. And then my other team to look at that not a lot of people were counting on is UConn. Paige Beckers. She looks like the player of the tournament.
I heard about her.
She is balling. So we'll see. And then, well, you already know who I got winning. I got UConn for men and South Carolina for women.
All right. And where's LSU?
LSU is currently playing UCLA, which should be a good game. I am not rooting for LSU, mostly because of the coach.
Why? What happened?
She's a fucking bitch.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. They played South Carolina and a brawl happened.
Oh, is that the one where the guy jumped over the thing?
Yeah.
And then he realized
Ajay's brother.
He's like, damn, she's big.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think for me, like, the contrast of reactions to it. So Dawn Staley came out, apologized, super professional as she always has been, and like the GOAT head coach, compared to Kim Mulkey, LSU's coach, who was like, well, had she tried to push Angel Reese, none of this would have happened, but she went for a smaller person. And it's like, oh, so you just want to instigate this more. You don't want to be like, hey, like, yeah, it was messy, whatever, we'll be better. It's like, nah. Yeah. Instigating shit, and it's like, you're not professional. Like, shut the fuck up. And could be racist, but I digress.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not a fan.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So yeah. Do you have any people that you're rooting for? Or are you just gonna roll with what I picked?
I have no idea what's going on. But I will say I do have some basketball stuff to talk about. Now, I just told you
the tables have turned.
I just told you about this trend, the are we done with the 90s trend. So, if you guys don't know what it is, pretty much the are we done with the 90s trend is a trend where people are actually watching full games of 90s basketball and they're realizing that, oh, wow, these aren't good games. Or they're watching the finals. They're watching the finals games and they're like, oh man, this is hot garbage. So in comparison, at least to the current NBA games. So they kind of are going on this deep dive and they're realizing that a lot of things that have been coming up are pretty much exaggerations and myths that our uncles used to tell us about their favorite players. So it's just been a hilarious trend that's going on where they're comparing like all of those highlights and lowlights of the 90s and putting them up against the lowlights of the current day. And people are just shocked to see that people got better at basketball as the years went on. And it just doesn't make any
evolution,
sense.
you know?
Exactly. I'm like, what, did you expect people to get worse?
Yeah.
So I just think it's hilarious. And how and the best part for me is how much these older people's hearts are broken because they have to look at reality. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah, that's hilarious to me. It's like, why are you so hurt? Like, chill out. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I'm using a regular water bottle because last time you
Thanks.
said my
Thanks.
ASMR was too much
Because
for you.
you're slapping the shit out the water bottle, and I don't understand why you're doing it. Doesn't make any sense. We're recording for what? Anyway. But yeah, what do you think about the we're done with the 90s trend so far?
From what you've shown me, I think it's really funny. Just because like the fact that people don't think sports could evolve, like, did you really think players weren't going to get better or like use the tape that they saw in the 90s to like, hey, maybe I'm going to try this instead of that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the whole like butt hurt part of
Yeah.
it. Cause like that's the whole point of everything, honestly. Like sports, music, art is to like
You want
take
it
it to
to
the next
evolve.
level. Yeah. Like why would you start crying and saying, "Oh, well, the 90s are important and you can't like cancel us or you can't like blah blah blah." Bro, chill out. That's not the point. Like
And the funny thing is that they're not even saying, "Oh, you're the 90s weren't important." They're saying, "Oh, these people weren't as good as you're saying that they are." And I think
yeah.
it's a pressure that you put on these people.
Yeah.
Like it is
I
just
think it's
savage.
mostly like stop the comparisons.
Exactly.
And that's what people who keep having these conversations need to do, or people who are butthurt need to realize. So just little things like that, but it's
No,
funny.
I think it's hilarious. I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. Now, did he do it? did
When are
did
we
he
getting the documentary?
did he diddle?
50, 50,
50,
50. Drop it.
All right, so pretty much what's going on with this whole situation is that Diddy's being P Diddy is being accused of a bunch of sex crimes and being
Sex
accused
trafficking,
sex
drug
trafficking. Yeah,
trafficking.
all of these things he's being accused of, and people are pretty much pulling up like pretty much random videos of these things that were pretty much weird.
Yeah.
And
Evidence
other
is coming out.
Yeah, and other people are coming out and saying, yeah, Diddy's pretty weird, like he does a lot of weird shit, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. He has some weird parties. Um,
His houses in LA and Miami were raided.
yeah.
So that was like big news in Miami. Meek Mill has come out and clarified to everyone that he's not gay, but didn't clarify whether, Diddy and him have a relationship.
So favorite thing about Meek Mill right now is that he just
He he didn't deny it.
he can't read the room to be like, hey, yo, guys, I'm not a part of that shit. He just kind of instead of saying I'm
Forgot
not
all of that.
yeah, he's just like, I ain't gay. Wait, what?
Yeah. So
Um,
there's that. Go on, Jay.
yeah, and pretty much the whole situation with Usher, where he was like a little kid and he was living at Diddy's house. And it was just a weird situation. Like he was like 14 years old and stuff like that. Um, and what was the
Well,
what's
then
the
it can hold up. It continued with Justin Bieber.
Mhm.
Um, so like Justin Bieber also like there's some interviews or like clips that you sent me to where
Mhm.
Justin Bieber is very uncomfortable around Diddy.
Yeah,
And I think in the same sense of how he wants to protect Billie Eilish is what he probably wanted from everyone else in the industry.
yeah.
But obviously, like when you're around yeah,
Predator,
well, predators, yeah.
predatorial type of people. Because
I don't want
I
to say it without having the full evidence too.
no. I think that when we see certain things,
Hmm.
like for example, like I want to clarify that I'm not even talking about Diddy when it comes to Justin Bieber because that shit's crazy. I'm talking
It's
about everybody.
everyone.
I'm talking about everybody else because at least I could say, okay, Diddy and Justin Bieber, they have their music relationship and blah blah blah. You got these random ass bitches fucking kissing him and stuff like that.
15-year-old,
Like
bro.
and like
Sexually harassing him. Let's be
sexually
real.
harassing him. You have James Corden like fucking smelling him and
Smelling
shit like
him,
that. Like
fucking
this
weirdo.
shit is weird. Like
Yep.
people on radio shows asking him about like him having
Sexual
sex and stuff like
questions.
that. And he's like,
Yep.
I'm a kid. And they're like, well, are you having sex? Like, bro, it's just the strangest thing. But
Yeah.
go ahead. What was the whole drug mule thing though?
Bro, we're catching strays up here.
Good.
Strays.
Good.
No. An ex Syracuse basketball player apparently was hired by Diddy to be his drug mule.
Wow.
And you know what the crazy part of the internet is?
What?
They dropped his highlights.
I'll be running him out.
Oh my god. So that was hilarious, but also like, damn, not us catching a stray with that one, but there's that. Young MIA and I guess 50 Cent's baby mama apparently are Diddy's sex workers.
No, Young Miami.
Oh, my fault. Yes, Young Miami.
Mhm.
Both of them are sex workers for Diddy, and then 50 Cent called.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And then 50 Cent called his ex baby mama out, which is
50
you know
Cent
what?
is a
50
dangerous
Cent is
individual,
amazing.
man.
He's
a
amazing.
danger and like he is so
Hilarious.
And
But
and then okay, because it's like all right, and then he's like okay. This is my thing. These are my thoughts about the whole situation.
mhm.
I feel like, in my opinion, I always vouched for being black and white in the situation. Like I don't like the gray areas too much. So I like to go ahead and operate by sciences and by my morals. So my morals are telling me, okay, I don't like to condemn people before they have their trials and stuff like that. Can I say that he's weird according to my morals? Yeah, he's a weird dude. Can I say he's doing all this stuff that they're saying he's doing? I can't say that. I just can't. And then on top of that, I feel bad because he is a successful black man who's having his life blown up, and everybody's kind of making it their duty to aid in the blowing up. But at the end of the day, we don't have any evidence of him doing the things that they're saying he's doing, like hard evidence.
Maybe that's not out.
I know. But once it comes out, I'll be more than happy to be like, damn, that's fucked up. I can't believe he did this. It's not. But for right now, it's like, damn, that's another black man, and we're like a lot of people are just hoping that he gets caught doing some shit because they don't like him.
For me, I think it's hard to say much because there's a lot that's coming out, and like honestly, I would love a documentary to break it down
Mhm.
because so much shit, like from like musicians to like random basketball players to just like all over the place. But I think once all the evidence comes out, because obviously, like you don't raid two houses without like hardcore evidence.
But he's also
So
black, so it's like maybe you do. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, but when you have Suge Knight from jail saying you in trouble,
No, he's saying you're in trouble because he's like they're not going to just let that fly. Even if they don't
so
have something, huh, something's gonna come.
yeah, and then the Uncle Luke story is about never staying at Diddy's parties because of just like
Yeah,
crazy things that have happened.
he
And
might not be into gay shit. Hey, what if Diddy's into gay shit? And he's like, yeah, I'm not into gay shit, bro. And then he leaves
uh,
early, but nobody wants to like from my perspective, this is what I think is happening. I think that nobody wants to like put him out there for doing these gay things. So they're all saying, hey, yeah, we just don't fuck with some of the weird shit he does. But in saying that, it could sound like it's not just like some weird sexual things, that consensual sexual things, it could sound like, oh well, he's doing the worst of the worst, like he's doing sex crimes and stuff like that. So that's where I'm thinking about it. Like I want to think positive about people. I don't want to think that this person's doing something negative. If it happens to be that, then it is what it is. I'll I'll be like, shit, that sucks, and I'll be more than happy to be like, yo, fuck this guy. But I don't know.
Um, I kind of agree and disagree with what you said, but overall, we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens. All right, I'm gonna pause real quick and I'm gonna eat. I'll be back.
All right.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot what we were talking about.
We just finished
Oh yeah.
talking about the video.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this one's you. What do you think about this? Because you're a huge Kendrick fan. If you guys don't know, Kendrick fired some unnecessary shots at J. Cole and Drake. Go ahead.
I don't think they were unnecessary.
Why?
Because it's been building up for years.
How?
And honestly, I don't think it's a shot at J. Cole. I think it's a shot at Drake. And all the bars and lines were more at Drake. J. Cole's probably like friendly fire involved. But if you guys didn't know, Metro Boomin and Future dropped an album together. We Don't Trust You. And on this, there's a song where Kendrick is featured on. We weren't supposed to know because the features weren't added, so it was just like a surprise. But on the record, basically Kendrick Lamar calls J. Cole and Drake out for the first person shooter song. Basically saying that there is no big three, there's just a big me. And then he goes after Drake, talking about how all his dogs are in the pet cemetery or some shit like that, some line like that. But basically he's saying, you know, like, stop putting us three together, knowing that, you know, we don't really have a good relationship. Drake and Kendrick have been beefing since Control came out, and they've both taken shots at each other. I think with J. Cole, they've also had like a back and forth, but to me, it's always been like friendly competition, where it's like, I'm gonna just take a shot at you here to see like if, you know, when you come back, it further makes us both better and get to like the next level. But I feel like it's mostly Drake and Kendrick. A lot of Drake fans have been butthurt because of it, because, you know, oh, why would Kendrick do that? Like, he only drops every 5 years, blah, blah, blah. Please, like, get out of Drake's, you know, butt and realize that.
Out your mouth?
Yeah, basically realize that Drake.
Dick out your mouth.
His DBL. I think the problem is that people want to compare rappers, and there is no comparison, because to me, Drake is not a rapper. Drake is an entertainer. And out of the three, Drake is the best entertainer. Now, when it comes to rapping and just like overall stories, you could definitely compare Kendrick and J. Cole. I think they're both superior. Now, it could be personal preference. Some people might say Cole is better, like the best out of the three. For me, it's Kendrick. Cole is my second. Drake is my third. But I really like the song. I love the hip-hop competition and beef. When it comes to actually rapping, I doubt Drake will do any of that because he's only been sending captions on Instagram. So hopefully his ghostwriters are making a banger, which I highly doubt it. But I think that's my thought.
I think that he's doing the equivalent of what Nicki Minaj did when Megan Thee Stallion came out and pretty much ethered her ass. So just posting captions and stuff like that, and doing speeches is another thing. I'm just like, okay. But
did you see after the song dropped and he was in Miami and he just looked horrible?
Yeah.
He looked a mess, like someone broke his heart type of thing.
Yeah, but thing is this. This is how I think about the whole situation. Mm-hmm. I love it for hip hop. Yeah, I just love it for hip hop. I think that it's a great way to get that conversation going and to stop the whole, you know, like I love that. I love collaborations, but I think that we are so reliant on collaborations that, we stop looking at the individual artist, but we also have to see how the artist can collaborate with other people. So for example, when you look at somebody like J. Cole, you loved how you appreciated his art, you appreciated his art as a rapper, but then when he comes up with an album and there's no features, it's like it kind of felt like repetitive a little bit, because we didn't like it was good, it was great, but it was just like, man, I wish I would have had a different sound um with this body of work. And so I think that we need features, but also it's great to be reminded that, oh, I could do this by myself. And that's what Kendrick does all the time. As far as like, who do you think wins? I mean, I guess you did already name your three, like in a
My
row.
ranking. I
Yeah, my
think
ranking.
right now Kendrick wins. I doubt Drake will respond. I think Cole will respond, which I'm excited to hear. But I mean, for me, like Drake is just corny. I'm not gonna lie to you, probably the best entertainer in music because he drops consistently, and
Yeah.
that's something that people want. But is it for me, for my personal opinion? He's not one of my favorites.
So yeah,
So
I get what
that's
you're
where I
saying.
stand.
I think that Drake is definitely one of, if not the best, when it comes to at least the hip hop game. Because when you look at hip hop, it's like a merge of genres and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And he encapsulates that very well.
Yeah.
And I think that the only, again, like in my opinion, the people who are that diverse, they always take the cake for me, because I can see myself listening to numerous bodies of work and getting a different feeling. But for example, when I listen to J. Cole, I could get that introspective, like looking at life type of feeling. And that's kind of like, might not be how I want to feel all the time. But if I look at, again, this is me, if I look at a Drake or a Kanye, then I could look at a different body of work and get a different feeling than what I'm looking for in another body of work. But some people just don't have that diversity. So for me, Drake is going to be over J. Cole. Now with Kendrick would be on top for me, because of the simple fact that his bodies of work are extremely diverse. When he drops, the only thing that pulls back for me is his lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Because I have to think about it as a sport, and that's why I like what he did. That's why I like what he did, because he's reminding us like, yo, this is a competition. Like
Hmm.
I'm not sitting here trying to be buddy buddy with everybody. Like I can be like, this is cool, like we're cool, but at the same time, this part of it is a competition, like battle rapping in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like it's it's kind of like you like, I don't know. I feel like the lack of consistency for Kendrick is what
Is
kind
what
of
holds him back. Yeah.
holds him back
Yeah,
from
I agree.
somebody like a J. Cole, who is very consistent with his work. And when you hear him, when you hear him rap, it's always like every bar is going to be a fantastic bar. Like he puts a lot into it.
I hit the
Like
mic.
I know, I know. But you see how I give you grace and I don't call you out?
You should.
Learn. But and then also you look at some like, dude, that's why Drake is just a menace when it comes to these types of things, because it's so hard to say, oh, yeah, I don't really fuck with Drake. Drake has a song for everybody. He doesn't have just a song for everybody. He has an album for everybody.
Yeah.
So to
That's why I
say,
said he's consistent enough to have all the people that are like, "Oh, why is he attacking Drake?" But
yeah,
also, like, if you really listen to lyrics and like are deep into hip hop, you'll realize like the difference between all three of them. So
Yeah, and that's why like I have Kendrick at the top. I feel like they all like in a sense cancel out each other when it comes to
yeah,
who's better. They all cancel out each other because like I say, hey, Kendrick's not as consistent, but he has a lyricism over J. Cole, so he's better than J. Cole. But then I could say, but Drake has the consistency and the diversity that's more diverse than Kendrick, and then it puts him ahead of Kendrick, but behind J. Cole because J. Cole has like it just
it can flip
it's
flop for
it could
sure.
flip flop 100%.
Which
But
is,
that's why I love it.
I think for me, like it's hard with the big three because like I agree they are the big three or like up
Yeah,
there for sure.
yeah,
Just depends on like what you listen, like your style of hip hop. Because I would even
yeah,
put Tyler the Creator up there, and you would put Kanye up there.
yeah.
So
Kanye put himself up there. Did you didn't see what he posted?
yeah, I did. He's just
Uh,
trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
100%. But this is what you
Also,
should do. It's what is if there's a time to do it.
oh
If you're
yeah,
gonna
perfect
drop
timing
like
for
this is the
him.
time now
Yeah.
because every artist it should be attacking this and seeing how this makes waves. If you're somebody who wants to care about being relevant and which is what hip hop is about being relevant when it
Hmm.
comes to your raps and stuff like that. If you're somebody who kind of does care about that, then this would be the opportune time to say, fuck Kendrick. Like he said he's the best. He's the god. Nah, I am. And let me show you why. And then you go ahead and you drop a fire ass fucking like
Yeah,
Big
people
Sean
tried
did.
and failed,
Like, yeah, like Big Sean did.
and then you fail.
but
So
but now he has a Tiny Desk concert that he did that was really good that a lot of people are responding to positively. So
yeah, as not a fan of Big Sean, I will not be watching it, but I did hear good things.
yeah, same. I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan. I'm probably gonna put it on the background. We're gonna have a little bit of a soiree tonight, so we're gonna put it in the background. Have a couple drinks.
All
I
right,
like.
let's move on
Do you
because
wait? Hold
we
on.
literally said that we were going to
I
go
know, I know, I
over.
know, I know. But do you not have like little like you don't like to like have a little drink, like little Tiny Desk concert
Oh
and play in the
yeah,
background,
but
like a
not Tiny
vibe?
Desk. I make a playlist.
All right,
You know I'm
move
a
on.
playlist kid.
Moving on.
Well, this is probably an album that you should be listening to.
I
The
am.
new
I am.
Beyonce album,
I'm
Cowboy
not a
Carter. Have
country guy.
you?
So
It's not a
okay,
country
Cowboy Carter.
album.
She
It's a
said,
Beyonce album.
I know. She said it's a Beyonce album,
It's
but
not
the
country.
songs that I've listened to so far, I'm only like 3-4 songs in. So give me grace for that.
Okay.
Um, there are country songs. And me not being a huge country fan, I do really like the songs. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have a bias because I like Beyonce. So I definitely am gonna listen to it more, especially associating her with the controversy that's been going on. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be listening to the whole thing. I'm probably gonna finish it today, and then I'm gonna listen to the Big Sean Tiny Desk concert.
So, I listened to the full album yesterday, and I have 4 songs that I really, 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 really liked. Um, Shout out to Beyonce for making me listen to my first country album.
I thought it
Appreciate
was a
you.
Beyonce album.
It's a country Beyonce album. Yeah.
I hate you, dog. Go ahead, talk.
So, definitely recommend Spaghetti.
Mm.
It's literally a Beyonce country song. Yeah. Her collaboration with Miley Cyrus, I think Two Most Wanted. Wow, beautiful. Their
I
vocals
know it's a good song.
together.
I just hate that. I don't like Miley Cyrus, but she is so fucking phenomenal, man. That like her voice is crazy.
Well, yeah. If Dolly Parton is on this album, best believe Miley Cyrus will be.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're related. So yeah, their vocals together was just top tier. Really, really, really good. Yaya is probably the most country song style on the album. Fire.
Okay.
And then I really like Tyrant, which also has Dolly Parton in it. But those are my 4. I like the second half of the album a lot better than the first half.
Really? Okay. I like the
Yeah.
first half of it. So
Well, you're 4 songs in.
yeah. That's why I said I like the first half of it. So I'm gonna enjoy the second half.
I don't feel like you could have an opinion when you haven't listened to the full album.
I don't have an opinion. I'm just saying I like the first what I listened to so far. I liked it.
All right,
Jesus
well,
Christ.
catch up. But yeah, if you haven't listened to it, definitely listen to it. Support Beyonce. And if it's not your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. Like for me, when I first listened to Renaissance, I was like, "Oh, this isn't for me," and it became a grower. And now I really enjoy Renaissance. So
Yeah. I mean, music is about giving chances, and what I love about what artists are doing now is that they're all about taking chances. So, and also with people like Beyonce, people like all the artists that we're listening to currently, like there's nowhere else to go except for experimenting with things that haven't been experimented with before, and yeah, I just love it. Even Lil Jon's meditation album, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
sure. I'm
All
looking
right,
forward
so
to the 21 Pilots album, but we'll talk about that
look
when
at
it happens. This says the guy who's not going to cover the songs. Cool.
Right.
All right, serious recap.
Go ahead, because
Have you come back to the Invincible world?
no, I have not, and I
Do
don't
you?
think. I mean, is it finished? When it finishes, then I'll watch it. But I'm just
Interesting.
I'm just not excited for it. I'm sorry, like it just isn't something that I'm like, oh man, it's okay.
Okay. Well, 3 episodes have dropped. I went back into it because, at work, a lot of my students were like, "Can you please watch it? We want to talk to you about it."
Hmm.
Um, holy shit, I'm gonna quit the show.
It's that bad.
There's 4 or 5 different storylines happening at the same time. And then the focus this second half has been so much on Mark and Amber, which we all hate, that like I literally like whenever she comes on the TV, I go on my phone and I stop watching the show. Or I, get up and start doing some things around the house. If they don't break up, I'm not watching the show. They are not meant for each other. Amber is the worst character on this show. Why do you guys keep pushing this? And also, Mark, ever since like season 1, sorry to say this, but he's a little bitch. He thinks that he could beat everybody, and he's getting his ass handed to him every single time. And it's like an
I
ego thing now.
I blame us, man. I feel like I blame the fans because we took for granted, the idea of a hero losing, and we were like, this is such a fresh new idea, a fresh new concept. The
Yeah.
hero loses, that this is what they're making it now. And now as well, dude, I don't I don't feel anything for the character himself, because it's like
Yeah.
he's gonna keep losing, and that's totally fine with me.
That
Like
was
at
the
first,
main conversation I had with one of my students. I was like, let me find the text message because I was like so freaking upset.
and now like,
Um,
and I think that I think that what they're doing is that they're just trying to write something that's super edgy, and
mhm.
they don't know where to go from season 1. And also, it was a pandemic, baby.
Found it.
And I'm sorry, it was a
Yeah,
pandemic,
pandemic.
baby, and we were so excited because it came out during the pandemic. I don't think we would have been as excited if it came out in a
Yeah.
now time.
I wrote, how do they got me hating the main character? I literally hate Invincible.
Yeah,
How did you make that possible? I'm supposed to be rooting for this kid. And
it,
I literally like want him to die.
yeah,
And his
man.
girlfriend. Yeah.
I don't think he makes the best decisions. But again, I haven't started on the second.
Don't. I'll let you know. I'll probably catch next week's episode just because like the other storylines have been good. I just don't know how it's all going to fit this season because there's 4 different like villains happening at the same time. Whoa, my finger looked
Yeah, your
very
finger looked
crooked.
weird. That middle finger
Yeah.
looked strange.
Yeah, whatever. Ball is life.
Ball is life.
So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. I am not super excited for these next couple episodes. But certain storylines, yeah. But overall, like the hype has dropped immensely. Because how do you go 3 months away and then you bring this shit?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
I
they
digress.
they knew what they were doing. They knew it wasn't much. I did see a clip on Twitter or something like that where they were kind of
I think it was just the angle.
all right.
I just double checked to make sure like my finger wasn't like dislocated or something.
Are you high? I just
No.
had to check. So no, I think the issue that we were having with I, damn, I lost my train of thought. Fuck it.
It's not important because Invincible right now isn't important.
Isn't important. I get it. Yeah, all right. But X-Men 97, I heard that it's been amazing.
Have you not seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Bro, a fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably start watching
So
it
good.
today.
It's so good. The only thing I hate is that it doesn't drop Saturdays. I
Okay.
hate that it drops Wednesdays because the Saturday morning vibe that it would
Mm,
give, top tier. Episode 2, I almost fucking cried. I think what people forget is why the X-Men were created
mm-hmm.
and the comparisons of Professor X and Magneto with MLK and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
So people who don't read comic books or don't understand why this show was created, they're like, "Oh, this show is too woke, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're
Well,
why
just the
this
comic book
was
in
made."
general, like
Yeah.
why the comics were made and
Mm-hmm.
what the situations were in that time, like how it's just people being ignorant. They don't like, and I can understand them not getting it because they're not a part of the people that have suffered from it.
Exactly. So definitely recommend it. I don't want to give it the high rating that I'm going to give it. And
Mhm.
so I watched the whole season. But honestly, it's been
Smart.
one of my favorite shows to watch so far.
That's smart. What is Masters of Air finale or
Oh,
Masters
so
of Air? Sorry.
this was like the Band of Brothers show that was on Apple
Gotcha.
TV. Air Force wise, the finale was really good. It was pretty sad, but like World War II was pretty sad. I really enjoyed the fact that they, apart from like the Air Force pilots, they also added the black pilots that were in the war and how like they would still do missions and how certain people, even though they were captains and lieutenants, they would still be looked at differently because of their skin color.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed in the show how like, I mean, this could also be fake, but the collaborations that they did and like escaping and missions that they ran together. But this is like another history TV show, so like if you're really into history and just like um firsthand documentary, so each episode was written from a book of someone who went through it, like who was a pilot and talked about the missions and all the people involved. um so that's what it like that's how they wrote it. It's Steven Spielberg, which top tier
Yeah.
director. You're gonna see great graphics and all that. But overall, I really enjoyed the show. If you have Apple TV, definitely recommend. But again, history thing. If you're into it, cool. If not, don't watch it.
That makes sense. What about Manhunt? Manhunt. Man.
Manhunt. Manhunt. I only watched the first episode. It's also on Apple TV. It's about the assassination of Abraham
Oh,
Lincoln.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you rate Masters of the Air?
I kind of don't want to rate it yet.
But the finale
Um,
came out.
all right, I'm gonna give it an 8. It might change depending on what other shows come out.
Okay, gotcha.
But I really enjoyed overall, like the story. There was a couple episodes that I could have done without, because it kind of felt like it dragged a little bit, which I
Mm,
understand because the war was fucking long. But I felt like it could have been condensed a little bit better.
got you.
Um, yeah.
And
So
then,
Manhunt.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask you about
Jinx.
Manhunt.
Get out of my head. Um, so Manhunt is basically about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, but it follows the guy who assassinated Abraham Lincoln, um, and like his plan, how he escaped, and how he was caught.
I like
Um,
that. That's interesting.
yeah, that's why I saw the trailer and I was like, hmm. So I watched the first episode. The first episode was pretty intense. Because if they show like them trying to like save Abraham Lincoln, and
Hmm.
if that's what they did to save him, thank
They
God
weren't
we
trying
have
to.
thank God we have medicine or like
Yeah.
hospitals or actual doctors. They literally put a tissue in the back of his head to stop the bleeding, and then just kept changing it.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I guess
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
No. So yeah, I've only seen the first episode, so we'll see how the next I think 2 or 3 more have dropped, but I'll let you know. It looked very intense, so we'll see.
All right, you do like those intense shows
Yeah.
and the old people shows. So, have you been keeping up with?
History.
Have you been keeping up with Abbott Elementary?
Yes, sir.
I am loving this season.
The
I'm not gonna
season's so
lie.
good.
It's
It's
really
so
good. I
good.
I
Yeah.
like it a lot. Um, we well, what episode are you on?
I didn't watch the one from this week yet. So I'm at the one where they do the CPR class or
Okay,
the
I didn't see that one yet. I
oh,
think I'm
okay.
one before you.
Which one? The when they have to find a new name for the school?
It's the one after that. When I think with where the gay dude and the redhead move in together.
Oh,
Yeah, like, bro,
Melissa and what's his face?
J- J- not important.
Jacob.
Jacob, there you go. Yeah, like no, the show's really good. I like
Mhm.
how Janine is really trying to make a difference, and she actually is stepping out of her comfort zone and being a leader. More than you know, more than more than just sitting there and trying to make internal changes. She's trying to make external changes. And dude, when Barbara went ahead and she gave her stamp of approval on the idea of the library, which was
Mhm.
just a good idea, and Barbara was just being a sassy
Overall,
pants. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and Janine actually stepped in and like grew a backbone. Like that was really dope.
Yeah.
So the show's shaping up quite nicely. I
Mhm.
really like where it's going. I didn't know where
It's
they were
been
gonna
so
go.
funny. Like
Yeah,
the jokes have been hitting.
yeah, I didn't know where they were gonna go from season two, but the fact that they're just implementing, TikTokers, like, dude, there are actually
Yeah.
quite a few famous TikTokers just being a part of
Popping
the
in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
popping in the episodes and stuff like that, and that's how they're like keeping in contact with their core audience. And I don't know, it's just a really they're putting they're making season three not as bland, because I remember we were talking about like, oh, you don't know where it's going to go from here because
Yeah.
of the
I think
relationship dynamic and stuff like that.
yeah.
But
That's what we were mostly worried about. But honestly, like good shit.
they found a way.
Good shit. Yeah.
They found a way. What you call it? Oh, so let's get into this. The Nick documentary. So for you guys that don't know, a documentary came out about a bunch of people, pretty much outing or exposing Nickelodeon for the outrageous work conditions that they had to endure when they were children, and they're talking about what they have gone through since then. Um, and well, under Dan Schneider and Brian Peck and all these other people. So there's a lot of like weird things that happened, a lot of accusations of sexual assault, even convictions of sexual assault. I haven't seen it yet, but I do intend to watch it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'm on the same boat. I haven't seen it yet. I also intend on watching it just because like it's something that we should be talking about. Um, I think it's hard for me because I was a Nickelodeon kid growing up. So I know that it's going to change my perspective on a lot of shows that I watched. So I think that's been like the part where I'm kind of like hesitant. And I know a couple people who've watched it and they said that it's really, really, really dark. So like recommending taking breaks in between because a lot of the stuff that you see and hear it's like pretty intense. So
True. I agree with that. I think it's just like it's gonna be heavy, and
yeah.
if you like heavy, don't do heavy, then don't watch it. Um,
Hmm.
and just hear what people. If you want to hear people out, hear them out, but also set your boundaries because that's important too. Protect your
Yeah.
mental. But we should move on to our special topic from here. Now, speaking about child abuse, the special topic for today is if you saw abuse and or child abuse happening, would you report it? What are your thoughts?
Can you give more of a description? Like in what sense? In
Okay.
general, in public, neighbor?
Let's start with something a little bit lighter and then we could get dark. Um
Yikes.
so let's say you're witnessing, like, you live next door to somebody who's in a relationship with somebody who's domestically violent, right? You hear them fight every night and stuff like that. And then one day you hear her getting hit by this guy or this, whatever. You hear her getting hit by this guy because, statistics. Would you go ahead and call the cops? Would you knock on the door? Like, is everything okay? What would you do?
I think that's a tough situation. I'm definitely not knocking on the door because that's not my business. And also, I'm not trying to get hit or involved. Um, I think calling the police is fine, especially like anonymously. And you don't really have to say, like, hey, I hear her beating her up. You could just be like, hey, noise disturbance or like a disturbance upstairs, maybe like a health check or something. I think it's tough because, like, again, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
And I could be hearing something, but it might be something different. So I think all of that plays a part. I don't mind calling the police if I think like, oh, they're being really loud, and then the police go up there and check. But sometimes like it's hard for victims, male or females, to kind of like come out and be like, yeah, I'm being abused, just
Yeah.
because like the manipulation that's already happening, and maybe they've gotten to the point where it's like, oh, I could live like this, it's fine. Um, So like there's different levels and parts to it, but I would never accuse someone just because of something I heard. Like I feel like I need to see it
I
to
get what you're
kind of
saying.
be up there and like go knock on the door and type of thing.
Okay, so what
What
if you
about
did
you?
did see it? Hold on, but what if you did see it? What would you do?
I feel like my instincts would kind of be like to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but probably definitely call
Yeah.
someone, call the police. If they want the help, cool. If they don't want the help, I mean, not cool, but cool, I guess. But if it's something that I see and I'm like, okay, like I know this is not good, this is bad. Uh,
Okay.
it's just hard to call the police because of how they are, and depending on the color of the person involved in the abuse, the reactions from the police will be very, very different.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. Like, the my point of view is honestly, uh it depends on the severity of what's going on. Like,
Hmm.
if I hear like help, help, help,
Yeah.
but if I
Mm,
see like,
mm,
cuz This
That
is
could
the
also be 50-50 though, because they could be yelling help, 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 and then nothing's happening. Because that could also be another manipulation tactic.
no. I mean, okay. So I'll give an example. I knew this one girl. Her man used to be very abusive, right? And this is what changed my mentality about everything, because my whole mentality was like, hey, if a guy is abusive, hey, leave him. Leave, like, not even leave him, but if a guy's abusive, call the police. Anybody should call the police. That should be the status quo. Just the standard of being a good person, right? So one day they're at a party, and the girl starts dancing on her girlfriend. Like, she starts dancing and shaking her butt on her girlfriend. The guy, I don't know if he was drunk or if he was just mad, he gets to beating her ass. Now, after he beats her ass, then they end up going ahead and saying, okay, well, one, y'all got to move away from each other. You gotta, you have no choice. You got to go. And the guy was like, this is my apartment. I'm not going anywhere. Bye bye. Now, she's been with this guy since she was in high school, like 16 in high school, ended up dropping out, not getting her degree, not doing anything. She didn't have any skills. She didn't have work, didn't have anything. All she had were memories of the things that she kind of did in high school, but she didn't really go after anything. So she has nothing. Now,
Mm-hmm.
had the police maybe not have been called, who's to say that she, when they just got him off of her, who's to say that she couldn't have gone somewhere, stayed with a friend, and then started building herself up? So this person called me, and then I went ahead and helped her move and stuff like that. And I was like, where are you going to go? She's like, I have no idea. So
Mm-hmm.
my only issue with calling the police when it comes to any situation is, all right, but how are you going to, you took one part of the responsibility. Now, what are you going to do about the other part of the responsibility? Because that's the only thing that bothers me. It's like, oh, I did my part. I called the police. Okay, but there's so much more. So are you going to go ahead and house this person? Or are you going to go ahead and make sure they're straight? Are you going to go ahead and help them until they get on their feet? You
But
get
that's
me?
yeah, that's like my drawback too, where I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know if the police are the people to call or like police to break it up and then someone else to come like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah. And that's why I have the issue, because it's never to me been about, doing the wrong thing, like letting somebody just beat on somebody. It's about, am I going to be equipped to help afterwards? I could say now, 100% I'm in a position that if somebody that I see is going through something, I could definitely go ahead and step in and be like, fuck, maybe I don't want to, because that's just the reality. Like, I don't want to go ahead and have to take care of somebody if they're going through some shit, but I would. And if I could call, if I could help, then I would do the full help. I'm not gonna half help, because and this is where it ties into the darker situation when it comes to child abuse.
Wait, hold up.
Because go ahead.
Before you get into that, I think a very important part of
Uh-huh.
that is the victim actually wanting the help because
Exactly.
they could say, yeah, yeah, I'll take your help, and then mm, not really,
Yeah.
or
And then they
either
end up
take
going
advantage.
back to the motherfucker.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Dude.
So I think that's the other part of it too.
And that's why, like, when I think about it, it's like, fuck, um this, like, when it comes to, like I was saying before, like when it comes to child abuse as well, it's so difficult, because I know that it, before I call the police and I hear, like, if I hear something going on, or if I'm told something's going on, before I call the police, I want to make sure I take all the precautions, make
Hmm.
sure I have details on what's going on. Because, dude, you're a lot of people, they do have to work, they call the police, and I see it all the time, even on TikTok, people calling CPS on people's people just because they don't feel like they're doing the best by their children.
Yeah, that's the other part that it's like you have to be 100% sure. You
Yeah,
can't just call CPS on someone just because like, oh well, the kid has been yelling the whole day. I'm gonna call.
exactly. But that's the thing.
No,
People get to form their own opinions on what is the worst thing that could be happening. And these are also, again, people that may not have kids and stuff like that. They don't know how it is. And
that
like,
part.
and now
And
that's why I'm so like, I'm not so, that's why I'm so like, I try to be so careful when it comes to that, because it's like when these kids get taken, they don't go to, you know,
no,
the
it's
the
worse.
best place. They go
It's
to,
worse.
like, if they don't have family, they go to fucking, they get taken by CPS, they go to fucking some random ass
Adoptions.
orphanage,
Yeah.
and now they don't have any family. They don't know where they are. And the worst thing to
Hmm.
do to a kid is disrupt their normal pattern of living.
Yeah.
And you are doing the bare minimum to help, yes. But at the same time, who knows, like, you don't know where that kid's going to end up or what's going to happen. I mean, it's just tough for me. So that's why I like to go ahead and say, all right, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. I'm not just going to say something.
I think the other part of it is like before people assume that someone is like abusing their child because of oh they heard them screaming is like also realizing we are all raised differently.
Yeah.
I think black and brown people have more similar childhood ways than other races, so like being aware of that because we didn't get told hey you're on timeout,
Yeah.
we were raised differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So knowing what you are going to, like how you're going to affect this family's life
Yeah. And
before assuming.
I don't think people know that. I don't
Hmm.
think people really care to know that. I think people kind of try to um they try to assume that their way is the only way when it comes to raising kids, but like, it's just hard. And that's why I like to have the conversation, because I want to see what other people's point of view. So if you guys have a point of
Yeah.
view on, where your line would be, we'd love to know.
Hmm.
And um yeah, that's that was pretty much my 2 cents about it. Now, moving in to our Am I the J Squared Asshole? Let's make this one
Let's
quick.
go. You got this.
I got this. Am I the asshole for calling my sister a perverted freak? So, oh shit, this is so long. Okay. So all of this
Yikes.
happened while we were on a road trip out of the state. Me, 15-year-old female, my parents, 39 male, and 40-year-old female. My sister, 13-year-old female. I'm not reading this one. These are kids.
You want to skip? Well, it's kind of on brand with the special topic and
Yeah,
everything
but
we
it's a
talked
kid
about.
judging a kid type of thing. So I mean,
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
yeah, but I do have another one. So am I the asshole for asking my husband not to text his best friend's wife anymore? Ooh, okay. I
Spicy.
20 right. I 29 female met my now husband, male 35, 6 years ago. Let's call my husband Tim, his best friend Doug, and his best friend's wife Kate. Tim and Doug have been best friends for 15 years. Tim he has said that he does not like Kate but still wants to hang out with Doug, so he accepts Kate's behavior. Kate is a very domineering person who has repeatedly badmouthed and argued with Doug in front of us at times, asking to take her side. So damn. So Kate kind of, I guess, goes ahead and demeans the best friend of the wife who has the problem. All right. So I can see her being a little bit weird about that already. We started looking for a house in 2021. I told Tim not to tell Doug since we were in the early phases of house hunting. Tim told Doug anyways. Well,
Wow.
Kate had just started working for a real estate agent and said we should work with her new boss. We told her we would think about it, and within a day, she scheduled a meeting for us with her boss and argued with us when we said we still weren't sure about moving forward with her boss as our real estate agent. That's fucked up. Uh, damn, the assumption.
Yikes.
So we agreed and ended up having a very bad experience with her boss as a real estate agent. We couldn't back out because we didn't want Kate's job to be impacted. When we offered a house, when we had an offer from a house, tension arose between us and our real estate agent because the agent wanted us to offer more money when there was no other offers. During this time, Kate texted Tim behind my back and said he needs to control me and I'm being unreasonable. I was very upset when I found out. We did end up getting the house, but by staying firm with our original offer. Doug and Kate apologized to us. The apology was not sincere, but we accepted it. Damn, this girl's crazy. All right, Tim and I got engaged in 2022 at dinner. Kate and Doug, uh, Kate and Doug, real estate was brought up, and I said I wish we had a different agent. Kate flipped out and said she wanted us to leave. She made everyone leave, and Tim left with Kate and Doug. Okay.
Interesting. Okay, continue. They're in a
Wait.
threesome.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. Okay. I had to Uber home alone. I told him that if he leaves me behind again, I'm leaving him. I felt that he chose Kate and Doug over me, and that Kate disrespected me in the past by texting Tim behind my back during the real estate transaction. Tim promised me he would never do that again and explained that he was embarrassed that I brought up the real estate transaction a year later. He's not wrong for being embarrassed, but he still should have never done that. He still should have never done that. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Tim and I moved past it and got married in October 2023. Kate did not attend, and Doug still came as Tim's best man. I haven't seen or spoken to Kate since that dinner at 2022. Kate still privately texts Tim. She will text him about a show she's watching or about Doug. I told Tim today I do not like her texting him after everything that has happened. There's no reason for be private texting her husband's best friend, especially after she talked bad about me in the past. Tim thinks that it's not a big deal. Doug talks crap about Kate to Tim on a regular basis. Tim talks
but
crap
not to
about
his wife.
Yeah, about Kate to me on a regular basis. Am I the asshole for for telling him to ignore Kate's text and only text Doug? What are your thoughts?
First off, there has to be something going on between the three of them.
Okay.
It's just like how, yeah, you're embarrassed, but to go and leave with them, what was your reason to leave with them?
Yeah, that to me was fucked up. I think that's where he messed up initially, but this is my thing. I think that there needs to be a complete no, she's not the asshole for feeling that way, but also yeah, she is not the asshole.
She's not the asshole.
He is the asshole
to a certain extent.
Yeah, but she needs to create a boundary, or if she can't create a boundary, because you can't say, hey, I'm gonna talk to this is my best friend, I'm gonna talk to him, but I'm not gonna talk to this girl. Like, that's what
make it a group
is.
chat.
Yeah, it has to be a group thing, and she
can't just be like,
yeah, she needs to bring it together and be like, yo, look, we have problems and we're gonna have to all talk it out. Because you can't tell, because if you throw away him, if you throw away her, you're probably going to be throwing away his best friend as well, because she's obviously very influential. She's probably going to be like, well, he doesn't fuck with me. Why? How can you fuck with him if he doesn't fuck with me? Blah blah blah. Like, that's not going to end well. So what the fuck? You can't really have it both ways.
Yeah, I just think it's also like weird that he's been texting her separately, and like,
that is strange.
Yeah, and then to be like, oh, well, she talks about his best friend, and my best friend texts me too. It's like, no, but your best friend isn't texting your wife.
But also, where I will say he's the asshole is that you don't have rudimentary conversations with somebody who isn't good on good standings with your
Wife
wife. Yeah.
or
Like I guess
significant other in
yeah,
general. Yeah.
I can see if it's other things like, hey, yo, we're having a party, blah blah blah. Oh, hey, it's been a while. How you been? Blah blah blah. I could see that, but I
Yeah.
just don't see the like everyday like,
Being
hey, blah blah,
cordial.
being like
Yeah.
consistently like nah,
But
like
to have
especially
a separate text message going
yeah,
on talking about shows and who else,
secret, yeah, and
yeah,
all that.
dick
Nah, nah,
pics
nah.
and you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dick pics, you know, the
yeah,
norms.
yeah.
Oh
So,
shit.
yeah, you're not the asshole for that
Not the
one.
asshole, not the asshole for
Mhm.
that. Well deserved, well deserved.
Yep,
All right. But well, actually, I think we did it.
we did the thing.
We did the thing. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple things we have going on, then we could just get out of here. Uh look, we need to talk to you guys about your social media game. I'm sick of all you entrepreneurs going ahead and thinking that you could do it all yourself. You can't and you don't have to. J Markets is a social media management system, not just not just a person that makes social media clips, but they engage with you and your brand to make sure that you get the highest quality videos and you get the highest quality form of social media management. So if you're ready to step your social media management up, get down with J Markets. Second off, actually, I think you should take this one.
Um, second.
Yeah, free Palestine. You feel me?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about the raffle.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that. But yes, free Palestine. The war is still going on. Well, not war. The genocide is still going on.
Yeah,
Um, we just like we're all seeing what's happening. Let's be real. Free
yeah,
Palestine. This
free
isn't
Palestine.
good.
This ain't right. And definitely just find your. I know that you could talk, you could see and call in on your local officials to
Hmm.
kind of go ahead and, at least see if there's anything you can do about
Yeah.
what's going on.
And keep sharing everything you see on social media. They're trying to, prevent it from getting out. But if you see something, post it.
Yeah. See something, say something, guys. And
Hmm.
now send your Am I the Asshole to our
Oh,
DMs. Please go ahead and DM us, email us, whatever. We want to go ahead and judge you. That's pretty
yikes.
much the short of it. But it's true. We want to judge you and we want to see if you're an
Facts, facts.
asshole. We want to see
If
if
you're an asshole, I will call you
hey,
out.
I'm not gonna be mad at you, but we could just go ahead and give you some TLC, a little bit of tender love and criticism.
Love that. Sponsored.
Sponsored. And also tomorrow, well, today is Saturday. It's not probably not gonna drop until like
Tomorrow's
Monday or
Easter.
Tuesday. Uh oh wait. So I think that on April Fools will be a perfect day. On
Yikes. You
April
could have.
Fools, we will
Okay.
drop
The winner of our
the winner
raffle.
of our raffle. So if you guys don't know, we went ahead and we had a raffle still available, but by the time you guys see it, it's gonna be too late. So yeah, we had a raffle to go ahead and raffle off a free interview with
Interview.
anybody who is in their entrepreneurial bag and they're trying to go ahead and just get on the airwaves for just some time. We are going to have an interview with this person free of charge, and we wanted to raffle that off. And we appreciate everybody who's jumped in and like, yo, it did so much
So
more than
much
what we
numbers.
thought. So
Yeah.
you gave us a lot of work, a lot of thinking to do. But we're just so proud to have a base of people who just love engaging with us when it comes to
Yeah.
these things.
It's going to be great.
And we're proud of you guys. Just because you have something going on and you have, you know, the I guess courage to put it all out there, and we're excited for you.
It's going to be
But yeah,
fun. Can't wait.
it's gonna be a good time.
And it's not an April Fool's joke, so we
It's
might have
not.
to clarify that.
It's not. I mean, no, I'm messing with you. It's not. But
Who knows how Jasoma's feeling?
who knows how I'm feeling? But for everybody else, this has been the J Squared Podcast. Peace.